What up, family? I'm Andre Romance. I'm up at this thing once again. What's happening, family? We're gonna dig a little deep today, because I see the plot. I see the plot to destroy, and I want us to be aware of what these plots are. I think that the so-called black culture is a death sentence. And the reason why I say it's a death sentence is that everything involved in black culture is killing blacks. It's killing the people who consider themselves black, right? And we can go down the line. We can go in a religious direction. We can go in a moral direction, as far as people having some sort of pride in being black and how that's destroying us. You know what I'm saying? There's so many avenues. We can go down the food and diet areas, that side, and we can see how that's destroying us. So what do? How do we overcome the so-called black culture? Because literally it's the thing that's killing us. It's like our kryptonite. All right, that's exactly what I think, and this is just my opinion. But I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to a lot of things that you saw growing up if you are a person of melanated skin, and hopefully you've realized that the things that you were doing in life and the things that you participated in were just helping to destroy you. We're just pushing along the agenda to get rid of us. You know, and we can talk all day about conspiracy this, conspiracy that. But throughout my lifetime and the things that I've learned about the history of black men and women in America, not just in America, but in the whole world, there has always been a plot to destroy us. And as long as they give us a little bit to feel like we have something that could represent us, we're going to continue to destroy ourselves. Now, if you look at, even if you go to television, you look at BET, right? BET is full of garbage. I'm just going to put it out there, man. It's full of garbage. All the shows that they got that represent us is coming from a perspective of people that's prideful, people that's just destroying each other as far as relationships and, you know, self-taught beliefs, man. I mean, I get kind of emotional thinking about it. That's why I'm having like a tough time talking about it like right now, is that I see so many layers. As I peel back layers, I'm seeing so many ways that we're being killed. We're just destroying ourselves, and we're allowing this to happen to us. And we just want to be accepted. But the reality is, you can never be accepted as something that you never were. You will never be accepted for it if you never were that. I think we are past due when it comes to really figuring out who we are and what we are. I mean, if we take it all the way into a molecular level, what are we? Because we're not like all the other beings on this planet. We are not. We are electrical beings. Electrical. I mean, we don't necessarily need food to survive. And a lot of people wouldn't tell you that. A lot of people don't know about this type of teaching, you know, this way of life. We've been dulled down so much. We don't even realize the power that we possess. just within our bodies. Things that we do, other beings can't. We can reach heights that other beings can't. And it's not to say that, we're better than anybody else. It's just that we have more connections on a DNA level than other beings do. We have 9 DNA strands, while other beings on this planet only have 6. 9 different DNA sequences to everybody else's 6. And that should tell you something's different about us. Right? That should tell you something's different about us. That we cannot abide by the same rules as these other people do. Because we will never fit into that shoe. Our perspective of existence is way far broader than what we're pushing ourselves down to be in. The way we live in, the beliefs that we choose to pick up. The religions that we choose to take on. And we've been taught this by people that wanted to destroy us from the beginning. And sure, you got some of them that, and when I say them, I'm talking about people that are not of melanated skin. Now, the thing that we get most backlash about in so-called black culture is that we are having a hard time accepting what happened in the past and moving forward. Well, the problem is those things were never addressed. Those things were never corrected to move past or move forward. Now, if we are going to move forward and past, we got to deal with the issue that we're still calling ourselves black. We're still calling ourselves anything other than what we are, which is gods and goddesses, which is 9 ether beings, right? We're not humans. We are not humans. I want you all to understand me when I say this, that what we believe that we were, we are not. And until we figure this out, because no other cultures, no other beings could ever go through what we have gone through and still be here today. And that's real talk, facts. If any other being was oppressed like we were in the generations that we were oppressed, they wouldn't exist today. And you think that is by luck or just by mere chance that we still survive today? We're still thriving today? Now just imagine where we could be if we all remember who we were. If we could all remember why we're here. Who are we? So when I say black culture is a death sentence, I'm speaking about us as a whole and the way we were brought up and taught, right? So let's start here. We were given a language, right? We were given a language that's not our original language, right? And along with that language came a religion, right? And this religion was a law based on humans, right? For us, we didn't necessarily need a religion because we had all the answers already. We already knew right from wrong. We already knew how to move. We already knew what to do and what not to do and what was righteous. We didn't necessarily need a law because we were one with nature already. But the disconnection happens when you forget who you are. You stop living up here and you start living down here. Now you're in trouble because you're not connecting to the universe anymore. You're not sinking in spiritually to anything. It's like having a book and ripping pages out of the middle of it. It's hard to pick up where you left off at, and then there's this big piece missing of information that's being withheld. So you're never going to get that full story if there's pages missing. That's exactly what's happening in black culture. And it's showing in the way we eat. It's showing in the way we eat. It's showing in the way that we all dress and stuff. It's showing in the way we communicate with each other and what we talk about in our music, right? The things we spend our money on, the things we spend our time on. Pay attention to this stuff, because a lot of this stuff is considered black culture. We have a Black History Month. Think about this. I mean, really, really think about this. We have a Black History Month. Now you show me another culture that has a Black History Month, or not a Black History Month, but that has a month that celebrates their culture, and I'll wait. That literally celebrates their culture and celebrates their oppression. I don't understand. Like, we celebrate being black like it didn't exist before we were oppressed. We celebrate, or should I say melanated, because black is something new, right? We weren't considered black before. Black is a terminology that was a label that was given to us. Just like Negro and colored and minority, all of these titles that we were given to kind of try to satisfy the idea of being different, instead of giving us our real rightful title, that we are gods and goddesses, that we are nine ether, that we are electrical beings. And we wonder why we can lay hands on people and they get healed, right? I'm gonna get biblical for a little bit. So we can lay hands on people and they can get healed, right? Show me another culture that does that. I mean, the black church is popular for this, right? Non-denominational is known for this. Baptist is known for this. Apostolic is known for this, right? We as a whole we harness powers that other cultures don't. And while they can tap in, some people, they vibrate high, and I won't take that away from them. Some other cultures, they can vibrate high, they can, you know what I'm saying, they can sink in spiritually, because they all have spirits too. But when it comes to my people, when it comes to us, we are on another playing field when it comes to tapping in spiritually. But we don't recognize it. You know, we don't gravitate to it because of the teaching that we had growing up. It's almost as if there's a barrier. You know, there's a barrier with our beliefs. Like, what we believe is the plateau of where we're going with things. Because if something seems far-fetched or out of our reach, what do we say? Just pray about it and God will make a way. Right? When was the last time you did something and you realized that you were the God that made the way? When was the last time you actually put in motion the things that you thought and that you wanted to happen, and it happened the way you wanted it to happen, and you acknowledged the God within yourself as the one who actually got it done? Because don't the Bible talks about God is a God that he will ask you to do something, but also that he will do it through you. Anybody know that scripture? I don't know the scripture right off the top, but and I'm paraphrasing. But in the scripture, it says that God will ask you to go, but he will also do it through you. And so what does that mean? What does that mean? That means you are the God. Come on. That means you are the God that's going to do the things that you are sitting and waiting around for God to do. Right? If God is working through you, he's already there. That means that it's you. It has always been you. Now, that when I say that we're gods and goddesses, that's not for us to not be humble and to get boastful and to get prideful. I'm not saying it for us to do that. But I am saying, remember who you are. We need each other to remember who we are. Because we're killing ourselves with this black culture stuff. We're killing ourselves trying to get a first black this and a first black that. It's time out for all of that. We were so far beyond first black anything. It's like soon as we start waking up, soon as we start to rise, we get a first black this, or we get another let's legalize weed. Now we get something that knocks our attention off of being focused on becoming our true selves again. And we just get knocked down into a place of comfort again. And then we get comfortable. And soon as we start to rise up again, let's try to give them something, Let's flip the script. Let's do a Black Lives Matter protest. When will we stop protesting? Okay? When will we stop asking for the things that are rightfully ours? Why are we paying for things that come naturally to us? I want y'all to think about these things. I want y'all to understand this. And I'm really coming out of a place of love right now, And just my love for my people and my love for where I want to see us to go, It gets to my heart to see my people, when I conversate with my people, and I see where we are mentally. I see where we are as far as beliefs. Because some of us are stuck in the time loop. Like literally a time loop. It's like slavery's over, but we are still living like slaves. Like slavery in a physical sense, should I say. Ain't nobody out there picking in no fields. But it has changed. The game has changed. The Jim Crow came and changed it up to where they can incarcerate us in a number, substantial number, and get free labor up out of us. Because they be cracking the whip on some of them too in those jails. I mean, some of them, they get to wake up and, move around or whatever in the yard, get like some airtime and all that. But you go down to the South and you see how some of those jails operate. They got some of them prisoners making brick rocks into little rocks. You know what I'm saying? But when you start looking at the system and how it's structured, when you start looking at Section 8, when Section 8 came about, they were separating the families. The women could not have the man living in the house. If the man was living in the house, they were not eligible to get Section 8. They were not eligible to get the food stamps and stuff. So the families had to separate, had to split. You know, the separation in the family was happening. Now, while the separation in the families was happening, you had the woman trying to bear all of the teaching. You know, things that a man was supposed to be there to teach, to enforce, to make sure his children succeed, wasn't there. So you just got the woman carrying the weight by herself, trying to raise these kids, trying to make sure they get nurtured right, trying to make sure they get fed, trying to make sure they get the proper teaching and stuff, and then on top of that, trying to make sure they succeed. That's a lot. Women was trying to give men things, or trying to turn these young men, these young boys into men, and some of them can't. Some of them can't. And on top of that, the chemicals and all the processed meat and stuff that we're taking in on the daily is adding to this problem, right? I want y'all to see this. If you look at any black culture, if you look at the black culture, you look at the black neighborhoods, right? It's a liquor store on every corner, right? There's a liquor store on every corner. Man, it was positioned, the structure was positioned in such a way that it's a slanted fight for black people. And at this point, I'm gonna stop calling us black, because we know what we are right now. We are gods and goddess. So it's a slanted fight against gods and goddess right now, right? Because as long as we want their help, as long as we want the Section 8, as long as we want the food stamps and all of that stuff, as long as we want the daycare, you know, as long as we want all of that stuff, we have to give up something to get it, right? Meaning you gotta make under a certain amount per year to qualify for these benefits. And mentally, what we're doing is because we want those things, we're not even going to try anymore. How many of us have fallen under our standards, you know, fallen under our capabilities? We've dulled down our potential so we can qualify for something that's potentially affordable, that's potentially going to be helpful to us, but really it's not. And how do we decipher between something that's helping us and something that's hindering? I need y'all to understand where I'm going with this. Because one day we're gonna have to overstand, and it's gonna be game time. I mean, we are in our end times right now. We are in the last hours right now. And if you think the year 2020 was a mess and year 2021 is a mess, we still got about 3 more years to go of this BS. A good 2.5 years. I don't know what this next election is gonna bring, but man, we are to look into ourselves. We gotta go within and figure out who we are. Remember who we are, or a lot of us ain't gonna survive. We have to stop participating in the system if we want to overcome from this system, right? Now the person, and this is a metaphor, a person that breaks your heart cannot be the same person to mend it. Right? That trust is burnt already. And it don't matter how many generations come and how many good people come out of those generations. But that particular person cannot help to rebuild. Okay? Once you are labeled as a destroyer, You cannot be a builder. You know, a wrecking ball cannot build a building. I hope I'm dropping some gems for y'all today. Because sometimes we are looking out for the oppressor to turn around and help us and heal us when we know that that'll never happen. Pharmaceuticals get their money from sick people. They make their money on the backs of sick people. Why would they create something that is going to heal you, that is going to better your health? I need y'all to start thinking about this stuff, man. And I mean, like, really, like, to yesterday. We needed to be thinking about this last year. We needed to be thinking about this when I was a kid. We needed to be thinking about this. And if we were thinking about it, we needed to be putting something in motion to do something about it. And not just allowing the system to run away with it. If I was standing in a field of people and I saw one person just walking through the crowd, just slapping people, how many people you think I'm going to watch that person slap before I step in and say something? How many people are you going to watch become destroyed because we are waiting for our oppressor to help us? Right? Think about how many people who had slaves wanted to give up their slaves back when we were emancipated, so-called emancipated. How many? You really think that the vast majority wanted to give up their help? They wanted to give up their slaves so they can do all the work themselves? You really think that? You really think that? And knowing that they had to give up their slaves, that all of that potential that was walking away from them was going to create their own. And it was going to be something that they couldn't even match. Because I tell you right now, if you are an artist and there's another person who've always paid you to do their artwork for them, when you quit and they have to fend for themselves and do their own artwork, their artwork is not going to come, it's not even going to touch yours. So you're going to soar when you got it in your own ball field. When you got the ball in your own playing field, your talent is unmatched. I want y'all to understand this, my guys and goddess. Your potential is unmatched. Against all odds, it's unmatched. Why else do we succeed in everything we do? Why do we excel so great in what we do? Why is there a ceiling on how high they allow us to go? Well, there has to be a ceiling. Because if there's no ceiling, they can't compete. And what does that mean for people that cannot compete? They're not relevant. If they're not relevant, what happens to them? What happens to a species that's not relevant? I want y'all to understand me. Because it is out of love. I'm coming with these gems today. It's all out of love. But I want us to understand, because I'm so tired. I'm so tired of seeing us stuck. I'm so tired of seeing us walking around with this black label. I'm black. I'm black in America. I'm African American. I think I might have some Indian in my blood. You are the Indian. You are the being that was here before and after. We will remain. Although we are products of the pain, we will still remain. I want y'all to levitate. levitate, man. Elevate. We have to get into a higher form of logic for ourselves. We have to start thinking in a different direction if we ever want anything. Now, I was looking at religion, and I was looking at how even if some of the stuff that we learned in religion is real and beneficial, it still came from the mouths of liars. And a foolish person could still speak wisdom. Don't get me wrong, a foolish person could still speak wisdom, because that's what the so-called devil came and did, right? The devil came, he was quoting scriptures to the man who created the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? He came talking knowledge as knowledge. So he came speaking the language, but he also had his own agenda about how he was going to manipulate that knowledge to get what he wanted. I want y'all to understand this. While they will give us tidbits of what we want to satisfy us for the moment, there's a deeper agenda that is going to destroy that in a matter of seconds. It's going to destroy us quicker than it helps us. I want y'all to do y'all research on these shots. It's very rare that I get on here and talk about that, because it's like the popular topic. It's the thing to be talking about. But stop taking them. Stop taking that stuff. Stop putting poison in your body, in your avatar. You don't need any of that. You can heal your body with dieting, natural diet, foods, fruits, vegetables, herbs, water. That's all you need. Oxygen, sun. That's all you need. You don't need all these shots and medications like they want you to believe. Because like what I was saying before, pharmaceuticals are not made to cure your problems. They will create more problems than they cure. And if you do get a medication that works for you, it's doing something else to you. It's creating a problem somewhere else in your body. You're not going to leave empty-handed. You always going to leave with a poverty favor. And it may not be what you want in that bag. But you're going to leave the party with a party favor. We have to stop attending these parties. Right? We have to stop looking for people in industries that make more money off of the sick to help us. And we got to start leaning more into the knowledge that will heal us once and for all. And we have to understand who we are. We got to go out and do that for ourselves. So now I just got a crazy download. Crazy download. Wow, that's powerful. Wow. Crazy download. All right, man, but I'm going to end on this note. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end it. It is out of love that we all exist. And it is through love that we are going to heal, right? When we are able to love, and love starts within here, love starts within self before it can be manifested outside, right? So if we can get to a place of love for ourselves, then we would treat ourselves better, right? We will help ourselves to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually. We will do all of those things to make sure that we can prolong our lives, that we can get to a place of helping others. It all starts right with love, though. Because you can't say you love yourself and then allow someone else to manipulate you or to misuse you. We can't say that we love ourselves and then turn around and put ourselves through pain and hurt. Because we are in control of everything that happens to us. We are ultimately in control. We are in control of what environment we put ourselves in by the things we do and the things we decide for ourselves, the decisions we make. So let that be a message to my people, to my gods and goddesses, to my so-called black people, to my so-called melanated folks, to the non-ether beings. Love on yourself. Love to the point where you're doing everything you can to grow. Mentally, spiritually, physically. And once you can love yourself, you will manifest greater powers within yourself that will expand out and manifest outside of you and onto others. I want us to be leading with love. And through it all, it's all about love. And it is love that gives us a purpose to exist. I love y'all. Y'all keep me up. I'm going to keep y'all up. And I'm out this thing, man.